Welcome to episode 24 of the Action Takers podcast.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
I'm your co-host, Nate. We got JC here as always. JC, how's it going?
It's okay. It's like fucking thundering and lightning out. We're giving you the weekly weather update, and it's just one of those days that I'm a bit exhausted. And I've got some family coming in to visit me here in Atlanta, Georgia, and they decided to book a flight where I would have to pick them up in the afternoon tomorrow. But then they rescheduled it and they decided to take the red eye. So I have to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go pick their asses up at the airport, in the biggest and largest airport in the world, in Atlanta. So I'm doing okay. I'm a bit exhausted, but it's all good in the hood, as Eazy-E might have said it. Nate, how are you doing?
Well, first, that sounds it's always exciting, right? Having family come over and all that great stuff, or maybe not. I don't know. It depends. But
it's fucking stressful. Oh my god, I'm fucking mowing my lawn, sweating my ass off, making sure fucking his room's ready, making sure we got enough bourbon and beer in the fridge. I don't want to say like I'm excited about it, but at the same time, it's just been like 2 days worth of work.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I'm doing better. We skipped our episode last week, but we'll make that up. Just going through things on myself. Trying to be more accountable. Got comfortable the last few months. Not practicing what we've been preaching on here on this podcast. And sometimes things just catch up with you when you're comfortable. And as a good reminder, a good punch in the gut to be, know that, hey, when you get comfortable after, doing, having a little bit of success, it'll go right away. If you're not making the phone calls, sending the emails, doing the things you're supposed to be doing, just doing it at that bare minimum level, not at the extra level that you need to be doing. Like I said, it's a real gut punch. And yeah, I mean, that's the great thing of
no. You're not getting off that fucking easy. Okay. For the audience who are used to, the various times where we publish this podcast, either on Thursdays or Fridays, just depending on my schedule. I messaged you, I'm like, hey, are we doing the podcast? And you're like, hey man, I just can't. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not a big deal. Like dude, shit happens. Like the greatest thing about this podcast is the ability to go, okay, let's do another one. It's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, Nate, I think you're in a similar position that a lot of people in our country are going through right now. Because I think the last 10, 12 years, ever since 2008 happened, 2009 happened, I think people got fucking comfortable. And I think it was easy. It was easy to make money. It was easier to make money in 2021. Fucking houses are going up in value. You can't, everything fucking sells. Interest rates are low. Money's fucking cheap. And then you get hit with 9.5% inflation, 11% inflation. You've got higher taxes. You've got fucking the economy just taking a shit. Dude, I don't think you're the only one going through this. And I think it's one of those things that you got to recognize that, at least for us, this isn't a fucking Instagram story. You know what I mean? Like most of the time you look at your fucking social media feed and go, oh, I wish I was doing what they were doing. And it's like, no, these fucking assholes are just posting your highlights. So I appreciate the transparency.
that's what, that's what it's about. I think with certain things or just with a lot of things that sometimes, you got to just fucking, hey, the truth, right? I mean, it's fucking, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going through it. I mean, you just named a few things but yeah, I mean, it all kind of hits you like stuff is still, for most people are going good, but it's like, man, everything, like you're saying, everything's more expensive or things just change slightly enough to where you're like, holy, it can like snowball and boom, you're in a different spot. But the thing is you got to, you can either dwell on it or realize, hey, this is where I'm at, and this is where I need to go and where I need to be, and and take those steps to get back on track. I mean, still got a lot left of the year, and shoot, we're here and kind of, I think, third of the way through August. So we guys still got plenty of time in August to do some goals for the month and goals for the rest of the year.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this. And I think you and I. So like for me, the month of June was not great. Like there was only like I looked at my calendar. You know, I'm keeping this daily planner and really documenting kind of my journey, and I recognized that like the month of July, like I was just fucking depressed, and I can like orientate it with one fucking weekend that I fucked up. I had too many cocktails. I got fucking depressed. I fucking wasn't out there hustling. And my revenue went from fucking 10 grand a month to fucking 4 grand a month. Well, it's because I wasn't fucking doing anything about it. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, at least I think one of the things that we do for this podcast is to keep each other accountable, but also to be able to share the struggles from the beginning. Okay, you and I have shared our goals on this podcast. If you don't know our goals, well, I want to live on a boat in Bali, make $12,000 a month in fucking cash flowing real estate, host a golf podcast, and play golf as much as I can, and hang out with my family. Nate wants to fucking drive a Lambo, live in fucking El Dorado Hills, and take fucking yacht tours, okay, in the Bahamas. All right, it's just the goals, right? So, but at the same time, I think a lot of times we don't talk about the beginning, and I think you and I are in a great position, especially right now, because one, you and I both recognize that like we were fucked up. Like we didn't do the things that we needed to do to fucking get it done, and get it done either in your pocketbook or fucking financially or mentally or with your family. So Nate, I'm with you. I'm fucking, dude. I'm reading it. Like I'll give you an example. I'm reading a book that says how to stop worrying and start living. Okay, like if anyone's worried, I'm worried.
Yeah, and like you said, it can be something as small as, like you said, that small the weekend, and it's little things that you realize of like that can really throw you off. Or you know, I re-listened to a podcast with Wes Watson and Brad Lee, and you know, he was talking about it's not the things that he's doing, it's the things that he's not doing, right? And he brings up like he doesn't drink alcohol, and you know, someone asks, "Oh, what do you do?" He's like, "Well," and I think he gave the example of a guy was eating like this double cheeseburger or something. He's like, "Well, I'm not doing that," you know. And sometimes too, that's the thing of like it's not so much, hey, I went to the gym freaking just about every day, I'm still doing that, but it's like, well, what did I, you know, what are the things that I'm still doing that I shouldn't be doing? Whether it's freaking eating ice cream or you know, like I said, those little things that can really throw you off, and when you think it didn't mess up your momentum, but it definitely can mess up that momentum of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Well, it's like cheating on your spouse. Okay, the cheating doesn't happen when you like have like the first step is never like you meet a girl and you fucking sleep with her. Like that's not how cheating works. Okay, cheating works like this. Most men are going to just take a step in the wrong direction away from that marriage in a certain way, okay? And it takes that one step of going to get drinks with coworkers. Then it's going to get drinks at coworkers' houses. And then it's, you know, playing game night with the coworker. And it's like, well, no shit, dipshit. Like you made all these poor decisions and it led you to being divorced, paying alimony, and fucking unemployed. You got to recognize, I think we need to evaluate like our lives, like at least monthly, and kind of look back from a fucking an Eagles view and say, hey, what did I fuck up? What did I do good? How can I improve? And what can I do tomorrow? Because the past is the past. Like, don't ever fucking cry over spilled milk because it's already fucking poured. It's already gone. It ain't worth shit now. All it is covered in gravel and fucking licked up by the cats. So you just can't worry about the past. Like you can learn from it and then fucking you just got to move on and get after
it. Exactly. And with all those things, taking stuff that's from a book I'm reading, not exactly, but extreme ownership, right? Taking ownership and realizing like that it's your fault, you know, because sometimes obviously people always try and do the a blame game, even if it's minimum stuff that you can try and rationalize. Oh, it's how I'm not getting the leads, or I'm not getting the call, whatever it is. In the end, it is our fault, and having to take extreme ownership of everything, of every little thing, whatever it is, yeah, that's it all started where, oh yeah, it's my fault. I didn't make that phone call. I didn't respond to that email. I didn't, whatever these things are. So it's, that's never, never good, especially when you get called on it, right? When and then someone says, yeah, you haven't been doing this, which is always good. You always want to get someone in your corner around you that will tell you the truth. Because a lot of times people won't, right? They won't say, hey, you're fucking eating a cheeseburger and you shouldn't, if you're complaining about your fitness, or you're drinking alcohol, you shouldn't, like, you need those people around you that are, going to call you on your bullshit. And it sucks to hear sometimes, but you definitely need that. And not get defensive about it, because usually it's the truth. Not too many people. There are those people that kind of say shit, but when you got someone in your corner that's going to call you on your bullshit, and it really helps to fucking take action and just realize it and reflect, like, fuck, yeah, that's it. That's what I've been doing, and fuck it, and change and go from there. Right. Start day one over again.
So the greatest thing that we can do is just absolutely hit the reset button. And I think oftentimes, at least for me, like I look at my past failures and times where I quit or I didn't accomplish something I wanted to do. You're right. I mean, the taking ownership of that, learning from it. But I think the key is to fucking get rid of that bullshit. There's a term that I used to teach our kids in football, and it was only for defensive players. If someone scored a fucking touchdown on you, you had to just delete it from your brain. It is what it is. You fucking move on, you learn from it, and you don't let it fucking happen again. And I think if we look at our life like, okay, well, I fucked that one up, all right, but I got more chances. Because at 85 years old, when you're on your deathbed, you ain't going to remember all those fuck-ups. You're going to remember the good shit, you know what I mean? And that, at least for me, I want to remember the good shit. I want to remember the things that we accomplish in our lives and the things that we experience. Nate, what is the one thing, like, so, in the last month or so or whatever, you've gotten comfortable, but what's going to turn you out of that? Like, what does your future look like? Like, I want you to call your shot. What is your shot, say, in the next 6 months? What is it going to look like?
It's going to be putting in the work, those long days, right? Getting up early, getting after it as soon as you get up, getting back to freaking first thing in the morning, get up early, get to the gym, get the studying in, get the training in, do whatever, little emails or things I can respond to. And it's just a matter of getting after it and not, catching yourself when you're either start freaking just mindlessly scrolling on social media, when you're turn on the TV, or just those things that you shouldn't be doing that aren't productive to the end goal. Cutting those out, because you'll find yourself, it's maybe middle of the day, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you start scrolling. You're like, hey, no, it's 3 o'clock. You still got plenty of time left to get that work in before it's time to relax and call it a day, more or less. So that's it's as simple as that for me. Is just, hey, putting in that work, putting in those 8-10 hours, whatever it is, throughout the whole day, in a not just, hey, I'm gonna work 2 hours and got all this stuff. That's cool, but hey, you need to do it. Time you wake up till time you say, hey, it's quitting time for the day.
Well, I think so. Like, one of the frameworks that I think about a lot, and I try and explain to my family, like, hey, in the next 6 to 9 months, like, this is the fucking goal. And things are going to be missed. Things are going to be, the opportunities just are going to be there. We're not going to be able to go out to dinner. We're not going to be able to party with our friends. We're not going to be able to go to the pool as often as you'd like. I'm not going to be around very often until we accomplish this goal. Because I think a lot of times, like, in our entrepreneurial journey, you only have so many cycles where you have the energy and the fucking wherewithal to go out there and take a bunch of fucking risk. And I think the more risk you take and the more often you take that risk and the more action you take, I think the goals that you put in front of you are way more obtainable. So I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Especially like for me, like I would be like, oh, I'm so fucking busy. Like, oh my God, I got this, 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 and this. And then I look back at my day, I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I just did a bunch of shitty little tasks that were so fucking easy. Oh, I need to check my email. Oh, I probably should have responded to that email. Instead of scheduling the shit out and fucking accomplishing in a more tactical way.
Definitely. Yeah, that's, and once again, even this fucking last week, right? I was like, okay, if I can wrote out my whole week and I'm going to do my task and win the days, and we can did it for 2 days, and then I slacked off, never looked at my planner. It's that like really saying, fuck, come on, you got to fucking do this. You got to, what are these critical tasks? Fucking doing them and making sure you win the day and build those wins. And you were talking about having a short term memory. You know, we both like golf. If you don't have a short term memory playing golf, you're gonna just have a fucking crappy 18 holes. I mean, yeah, football is one thing, but you can freaking chunk a freaking your tee shot, and then you got to forget that real quick, or you're just gonna end up, triple bogey on a freaking par four, and just. I think golf is probably one of those definitely sports that you got to really, if you mess up, forget that last shot and start over and get your head, because it's a total mind game, and it helps. Anyone that plays golf and has played it, enjoys it, you can definitely relate to. Hey, it's one of those things you definitely got to forget when you're talking about the football analogy. Forget that last shot and start over and reset.
I completely agree with you, and I'll give you an example. I'm a hole one, envisioning my tee shot. It's going to be fucking perfect. I'm going to hit a little baby cut with my 2-iron and fucking put myself out there about 97 yards in, okay, to the pin. I mean, it is a comfy, maybe like a knockdown lob wedge or a fucking little 56 that I can just fucking cozy up to the hole. And sure, if the ball was above my stance, just a hair, and I'm like, yeah, this won't affect the shot very much, but sure as shit, I fucking chunked the fuck out of it. I chunked it so bad, like it went like 12 yards. Like the divot flew farther than the ball did, and I'm like, huh?
Did it make it past the ladies?
No, I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck. Like I just started my round. Like I just left the gate. Like. The race isn't even fucking done. I'm in the first 10 minutes of this fucking race. And I'm already fucking falling down. I'm already hitting the fucking hurdles. And I recognize at that very moment, I go, listen. And I tell myself, I go, you only need to hit one great shot every hole to make a good score. And sure enough, what did I do with my third shot? I fucking, I hit a 82-yard fucking lob wedge that stuck into about 3 feet and made the fucking putt for par. And I think oftentimes, yes, I agree with you. Golf is a great analogy and a great life experience, because there's going to be times, there's going to be months, there's going to be days when you just pull hook it. You hit a fucking giant slice into the trees, you knock out 3 fucking windows, and you're fucked. Besides the $100 fucking, tee time that you had to pay for, you also had to pay $1,200 for the fucking windows you broke. You know what I mean? So, but I think the ability to forget that shit and move on and just hit a great shot, like just hit your next great shot, and that's it. That's all you got to do.
Exactly, and it helps with winning too, right? Because you birdie a hole, okay, now you got confidence. But at the same time, that was the last hole, right? Now you're on to this next hole. And sometimes that, hey, maybe you stack some wins and then we get comfortable and then we forget, like, oh, like you said, birdie, and then boom, like maybe it's not hole 1, hole 2, you chunk it. And then it puts you back in place. But like, no, you got to focus every single shot. You can't get comfortable just because you got a birdie on the last hole. And like I said, it's a great analogy, because we all do that. Maybe we stack some wins and cool, we had a great month. And then I don't need to work as hard this month because I just had a great month. And that, I mean, it's simple as that we do get comfortable for a day, for 2 days, maybe a week, a month. And these reminders definitely, reset and get after it again. And that's a great thing for anyone out there. And I've been listening to some stuff, and really it reminds me, a lot of people I've been talking, successful people that are in their 40s, I'm 33. You're a little bit older than me, 30s, but it's like we got so much time ahead of us. Like some,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like people that are like they didn't become successful till their late 30s. Like really, they've been working on stuff for a while, and it's a good reminder that yes, you feel like, oh man, time's getting away from me, but at the same time, there's so much time ahead. There's all these people that sometimes you're comparing or looking at, and like these people are in their 40s or 50s or 60s, and even when they were in their 20s 30s, they were still trying to find that way, and it kind of not as an excuse, but it really helps you, I don't know, stay grounded to where it's like, man, you still got plenty of time. You got to put in the work and do those little things that people aren't going to notice, but there's still that time to get to where you want to go.
I think a great example of that is the General. Kentucky Fried Chicken. The dude, I mean, he was like 62 when he made his first $1 million. Like, he had tried every fucking business in the world, and he's like, I'm gonna get into the chicken business. And sure enough, he fucking became a billionaire by the age of like 72. So I think you're right. I think oftentimes, I think if you look back at your life and realize, like, yeah, you're 33, I'm gonna be 35 here shortly. You recognize that, like, unless you have some very bad luck, like where you die, like, you got some time. You got some time, but you have time where you can fucking lose it all and gain it back. Like, one of the things that I have the most in my fucking arsenal is the knowledge now. I can go out there and fucking invest all my money in fucking real estate, and I could lose it all. I could lose every fucking dime. But I know the lessons that I learned along that journey. And I think a lot of times we miss that step where, like, we're so worried about fucking failure that if you asked 50 rich people, okay, and rich people meaning like $25 million and above in personal net worth, I think most of them would be gladly to give it all back for youth. You know what I mean? Like, if they're 55, they would give every fucking dollar back to be 25 again. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know. I feel like we got a lot of shots on goal, and you just got to keep taking them and enjoy the ride along the process.
Oh yeah, definitely enjoying the ride, and you're exactly right. The failures, the mistakes, like within the last year, within over a lifetime, over jobs or over other things that you learn, whatever it is, it's like, yeah, those are exactly what help. And you look back and like, oh shoot, that taught me this, that taught me that, and embracing them, and they do. And you can read about them, and I think we've talked about this before, whether it's books or stuff, but like when you actually experience those mistakes or those failures, you do learn that much more. I mean, obviously you want to prevent them as much as possible by reading and taking courses or training or whatever it is, but just you can do so much training, but until you're in that situation, or whatever you're dealing with, that's where you're really going to learn. So it's really embracing the mistakes, the failures, whatever it is. Like I said, process it, look at it, and create that plan, and move forward. Keep moving forward, right? I mean, that's the only thing. Don't dwell on it. The biggest thing I've kind of been trying to stay focused on is just moving forward, one day at a time, one task at a time.
So let me tell you a bad story, and hopefully our Ukrainian listeners won't get offended, but Vladimir Putin, and I don't know if I've said this story on the fucking podcast before, but Vladimir Putin at 42 years old was unemployed. He had been fired and let go from the KGB. The government, the wall had fallen. The Soviet Union was no more. They were not the superpower that they were competing with the United States. And in 10 years, from the time he was 42 to 52, he gained power and became one of the most wealthiest people in the world. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not congratulating, like, please don't take over countries and murder a bunch of people when invade unless you want to. I mean, if you need some advice, you can sign up at our website, theactiontakers podcast.com, and get a little consulting. We might be able to direct you in the right way. But I think oftentimes like there's so many great examples where people, you just can't give up. You just got to keep going and you got to keep trying, because I think the more at bats you have, the more options you like. It's the pitch. If you don't swing at the pitch, like you ain't gonna hit the ball. So if it's a little outside, just fucking swing and fucking knock it out of the park. But if you miss, fuck, you know, you got, I guess in baseball, you got 2 more tries, but you know, you might have 3 or 4 more at bats.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many successful people that I listen to or follow. Right? I mean, a lot of their stories are that they made millions of dollars, they lost it all, they made it back. You know, they Wes Watson, like I said, who I recommend if you're not listening, follow him. He just got out of prison 4 years ago. You know, and within 4 years, he's made millions of dollars. You know, so like literally that's the equivalent. You know, you started with nothing, you got out at nothing, boom, and transformed and coaching and doing all the stuff they does. So it's just there's so many people that have these stories of made money, lost money, made it back again, and that and man, I mean, they're abundant of stories, and that's where I think that the lessons come from. Those people that are overcome and overcome the failures. I'm guessing is just based on, or why they've gone bad is based on those failures and really embracing them.
Embrace your failures. Nate, I mean, I don't want to say like, I don't want to disagree with you, but I'm going to disagree with you. And I'm going to ask you a question. For someone that is maybe just starting out, you have all this knowledge and experience. If you were starting out tomorrow, and if you were going to advise someone, what would be the one thing that you would tell them, like, hey, you need to go do this? And for me, and I'll give you my example, I would tell this individual, stop reading books, stop watching YouTube, stop listening to podcasts, and go take some fucking action. Go do whatever you want to fucking do, and just learn from your experience. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, exactly. Create the Instagram account.
I
Create
was
the website.
trying to make you disagree. That's what I was trying to do.
No, I mean, but it's I agree with, yeah. I mean, those are the things of just doing it, and something else I realized too is that when you're doing things out of the norm, and norm is what everyone else is, the majority of people are doing. People are going to try and bring you down. Tell you you're wrong, tell you you shouldn't be doing these things, or whatever it is, and you really got to just focus and not listen. Because it's you're here with people. I'm gonna do this, and they're gonna want to bring you back to where they are. And it's really hard to so like stay focused, and that's just to add to it is, yeah, do what you're gonna do and just keep going. Whatever you're starting, just keep going at it. Don't give up, don't get discouraged. You're gonna find those people that are that are with you and trying to do the same path, and that's one of those things. It's a fine line, like I said, is people are going to try and whatever it is, it could just be small things, it could be basic things, but whenever you try and get away from the circle where everyone is, where the average is, people are going to try and pull you back, and you got to just realize that and keep doing what you're doing. And it could just be, it's simple things. I mean, you can be maybe around a group of people that no one really goes to the gym, and they all enjoy drinking and eating all this food, and you're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna eat healthy and go to the gym. They're those people, they're going to try and discourage you from that, right? Because that's not normal for them. You're in that group, and whatever you're doing, just stay focused and know there is going to be some people trying to bring you back to whatever it is you're trying to break out of. But know that you're going to find another group of people that are also doing those things, and I guess a new tribe or new group that are moving in that same direction. Like I said, it could be anything, whatever goals you have. So yeah, so there's another thing I just kind of had forgotten and kind of brought up again, or I realized.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, because I think I think most of the time, people want to be comfortable. Like, it's just easy. Like, our society has made it so easy to just not even work, not even be motivated to do the cool things in life. Like, there's so many fucking people out in the world telling you, like, don't be that rich guy. Don't be that fucking asshole who's rolling up in a Rolls Royce. And to those people, I tell them to fuck off. Because this is the greatest opportunity you have right now to make a fucking life for yourself where you're not reliant on anyone else. And when I say reliant on anyone else, I mean the government. I mean fucking your local government. I mean, being reliant on fucking the oil industry, being reliant on your fucking food source. So I think oftentimes, like, you can, like, the reason that we do this podcast, the reason why we're creating this journey and sharing it with you is to show you a path or a journey and bring you along to fucking be rich. To be rich either in money, friends, family, whatever it is, whatever your rich definition is. So I think, yeah, I agree with you, Nate. But what I'm going to disagree with you is, if you enjoy this episode, give us a like, a comment, a follow, a subscribe. I don't know. We've got six followers. We'd love to get to 7. We want you holding us accountable each and every week. Nate, we got like 6 minutes left. What do you got in closing? I mean, are you worried that the FBI is going to raid your house just like the President Trump's, or what?
No. But there's some crazy times right now. Closing. We got to, I don't even know what you want to call it. Start getting more involved, right? I mean, that's crazy. How about the new bill that's passed, the Reduction Act, or whatever they call the damn thing? 87,000 new IRS agents to be hired. What do you think they need? 87,000, not 8,700, 87,000 IRS agents to make the IRS the biggest. I think everyone's saying that, bigger than the FBI, CIA, Border Patrol, like all the federal government agencies combined. The IRS will not be bigger. Not only that, they're arming them. They've bought tons of ammunition and things. I mean, this is the IRS. This is who are they going after that they need to have this crazy stuff? So, in conclusion, vote. That's my biggest thing. When time to vote.
Did you see what the IRS passed to add as one of their tax bills? One of the things that they've added was, if you've committed a crime where you've stolen something, you have to add that in to your total income for that year. Any stolen goods, say you go rip someone off for a $15,000 Rolex and you turn around and sell it for 10 grand. You gotta fucking put that on your taxes. And if you don't, you're like Al Capone. They're gonna fucking take your ass to prison for fucking tax evasion. It is absolutely nuts. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The idea that, hey, we're hiring these people to go after the rich, right, or make sure people pay their fair share. It's like, and someone put that, like, in the whole U.S. there's 400 something billionaires. Millionaires, okay, maybe, I don't know, thousands, but even though you don't need 87,000 people, so obviously they're going after the middle class, everyday person.
Oh yeah.
Make sure. So, and with that, okay, they're spending 124 billion. How much more taxes they got to pay taxes to pay all those people, right? Raise their taxes for that, and then to make sure that you're paying enough. I mean, it's just crazy times. And the interesting thing is I don't know. I mean, where are they going to find 87,000 people?
Well,
obviously,
yes,
that's even, and these, and by definition, kind of what the goals. I mean, these are law enforcement people. They're not even tax people, because it's someone had posted. I saw has posted like the things, and obviously, like I said, they're arming them. So these are people that they're law enforcement, less not necessarily someone that's auditing your taxes, which is the crazy thing. So. I don't know.
Dude, It's nuts. 87,000. Dude, I don't know. They ain't knocking at my door. Like, there's no way. There's such a shortage right now in the IRS, and I'm sure they're going to shadow ban us here in a second here on YouTube. I think it's just vanity. Like, I think it's just to scare the shit out of people. And I know that's kind of a conspiracy theory, but there's not 87,000 people who are going to go work for the IRS. Just said and done. The American government moves way too fucking slow. They'll hire 87,000 people in the next 50 years. That would be my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it currently stands, but I mean, I would just a wild guess they're trying to double the size of it, right? I mean, I don't know how big it is, but yeah, any business. I mean, no matter what if you're trying to double it in that extreme magnitude, we're not talking going from 100 people to 200 people. Okay, you're talking if I don't know if it's currently at 87,000, but to double it or whatever they're trying to do. Yeah, I mean, it's just logistics just on that alone, right? I mean,
just the supervisors, like the amount of supervisors you'd have, and how many meetings and bullshit and training. These fucking people. That's why I'm moving on out on a boat. I'm going to Bali. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I'm hopping in my Japanese truck, and we're just gonna be nomads in the world. Because I am sick and tired of these idiots fucking voting in shit that are just ridiculous. Anyways, let's wrap with that, Nate. What next week's episode? What do we got? Any predictions? There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about that we didn't get to.
Yeah, we'll probably get to those next week, but I don't know. Who knows? We'll have to see how the week goes. You know, the way things are going, we can have. Who knows what kind of things we're gonna have to talk about in the next week.
Dude, absolutely crazy. So next week, I want to talk about how to buy your first real estate deal, and then setting up events is a giant pain in the ass, but can make you a lot of money. So those are the two things I want to talk about next week.
Oh, we'll get into those.
We sure will. So Nate, greatly appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And as always, take some fucking action. Okay, everyone?
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.